What is up, everybody? Merry early Christmas. Merry Christmas Eve, everybody. I'm in an ugly Christmas sweater. Okay. We are rolling. My stupid Christmas hat. This is the only one. I didn't feel like buying a new one. I've had this, like, blue one for years. And just I'm like, why would I invest in multiple Santa hats? I wear it as a basically as a meme every year. So I'm like, bro, who cares, bro? Checking on things now. How's everybody's Christmas Eve? It is a Monday. I can't remember. I think I streamed Monday, Thanksgiving week, maybe, and that was the last time. Other than that, I don't go live ever on Mondays. So I am not going to have time later in the week. Everybody's going to be doing holiday stuff, Christmas stuff, whatnot. So, figured I'd just go live now. Everybody got plans coming up? Christmas? Not to hit everybody with dark and dreary right off the bat. A friend of mine lost his one and only brother like yesterday. So, not going to be a good Christmas for him. I know a lot of people have a rough time this time of year. I think about my grandma passed away last year, and it's still rough. She passed away like early in the year. It was like January or February, one of the two. I feel bad. I don't really remember the date because I'm just bad at dates, no matter how significant it is. I remember like my wife's birthday, my anniversary, my birthday, my mom and sister's birthday, because we're all like so close together, and my dad's birthday. Other than that, excuse me, I don't really remember. I don't think about dates too much, but yeah, it's still rough. My wife's grandma passed away. I think this is 3 years she's officially been gone. She passed away a week before Christmas, so that, for lack of a better term, put a damper on Christmas. You know what I mean? And a lot of people go through that. So if you are dealing with stuff, even if it's not death, just stuff, just know I'm thinking about you. Let me know. If you need somebody to communicate with, I am always on social media, so that's not trying to plug things for selfish needs, but just, I know how rough this time of year can get. Don't like to see anybody go down a dark path with their thoughts and whatnot. I don't like to see people alone, so if anybody wants to reach out, just yeah, I get it if you're not like religious or whatever. So if you don't want to talk about that kind of stuff, I get it. But if you just want somebody to talk to, and hear you out, whatever, I'm here. So. But we got a lot to talk about today. Getting off the depressing crap. Lots and lots to talk about. Real quick, sorry. I'm just getting everything shared, getting all of the links out there. Almost done. Da. Oops. Oh, there we go. Okay, never mind. Ooey. Okay. So let's get into some subjects here, everybody, because it is a good time of the year, regardless of things going on. It's fun. There's always stuff to do. I might not stay in this Christmas sweater this whole stupid stream. Hi. Say hi, Grace. Another black cat. I have 3 black cats. Anybody have black cats? Number one, black cats are highly underrated. They always put them in like Halloween stuff, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, they're so gothic." Not really. Like, they are the biggest babies on planet Earth, and I say that in a good way. I finally finished Yellowstone. We'll talk about that. People, I'll say that the penultimate episode, penultimate, I think it's penultimate, whatever. That was not good. Was just meh. Um, but the finale, I was like, yeah. I mean, how else are you gonna do it? You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Vern? But I enjoyed it for the way. Look, there's gonna be some spoilers. I can't avoid it. Sorry, y'all. There's some stuff is gonna get spoiled. You know what I mean? But it was good the way they did it. I thought it was wholesome, very wholesome, very fun. Oh gosh, I always have this thing with the frame rate slowing me down. I don't know how to fix that. But before we get into Yellowstone, we'll get into that eventually. I did want to get into Deadline here, talking about box office stuff, because I don't know. I've heard some mixed stuff about Mufasa, but everybody seems to love Sonic. They just keep pumping them out, making money. Universal, I believe. Universal makes the Sonic movies. Yeah, Hedgehog still has upper claw over Mufasa with $62 million, excuse me, plus in pre-Christmas frame as Lion King prequel loses crown. Sunday AM box office update. Got this last night, so it's about as fresh as you can get with it. Who knew that the hedgehogs were predatory creatures that could spring out of the ground and take down the king of the jungle in full? Ha ha ha. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's Paramount, not Universal. My B. Paramount's $122 million production, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, is the dominant, okay, heading into the Christmas frame with a $62 million opening, well ahead of Disney's $200 million prequel, Mufasa, which is nothing to sing Hakuna Matata about with $35 million. God, I can't read numbers today, or words apparently. That's not a good sign. Either way, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 gets an A cinema score and 5 stars, 89% positive on post-track, to Mufasa's A minus and 85% positive. I thought my dog was behind me. I heard a snort. But whoa, ho ho ho, what happened yesterday? Good God. Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which on Friday looked like it was heading from a franchise best domestic opening, came up way short. Per Paramount, families repped 46% of the crowd through 2 days, which is why business was lighter on Saturday. Parents were at the mall shopping, given it's the last weekend to do so, with Christmas falling on a Wednesday. By comparison, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 opened on April 8th, 2022, and brought in 59% of families. Confidence prevails in business for Christmas Day onward. Yeah, I don't think they have anything to worry about whatsoever. I think it's going to do well. And yeah, everything was freaking packed. Like, I drove down, there's this, it's not like a big town, but it's it's a town. That I drove down with, like, it's got Kroger and Costco and Marshall. I was like, why the hell is Marshall's so freaking crazy today? Like, who the hell is like, man, it's almost Christmas, gotta hit up Marshall's. The pet store was packed out. Yeah, okay, for some reason. Okay. Let's try this. I'm trying to fix my output here. It's not helping. Bleh. Anyway. But yeah, I was like, everything's just so packed out. We made the mistake. We went out to a light thing on Friday, and it was like a 2-hour drive. We really wanted to go. We went there, and then on the way back, we stopped at Texas Roadhouse, and it was like a 45-minute wait to get a table at 8 o'clock at night. It was nuts, but it was a Friday, so I'm like, man. And Longhorn was like right across the parking lot, oddly enough. Even longer wait. Nutty. But 'tis that time of the year. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 still owns the $72.1 million opening record. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 reps the second best opening for the franchise. It's still quite a feat to beat Disney, as they have traditionally owned the pre-Christmas frame with Avatar and Star Wars movies, so you gotta give props to Paramount. For the Brian Robbins Movie Motion Picture Studio, it's their fifth number one opening of the year, after Mean Girls, Bob Marley, One Love, If, and Smile 2. I kind of want to see Smile 2. I wasn't a big fan of Smile, but I'll see the sequel. If I got halfway into it, it's not good. I don't care about Bob Marley. Definitely not watching the Mean Girls remake musical. I don't care about that. Note Sonic the Hedgehog 3's opening is still north of the highest $50 million forecast that it was spotted. So yeah, Sonic is crushing it right now. Not shocked. I'm a little shocked that it has, like, the hype over it hasn't died down very much. But I don't know. People just love that movie, man. People love Sonic. Like I said last time, I still gotta watch the second Sonic movie that I heard was great. I gotta watch the Knuckles show that came out. My mother-in-law said she has no idea what the hell Sonic the Hedgehog is. I'm like, I know you didn't grow up Amish. I know she's a little backwoodsy, whatever, but, like, I'm like, how? You know what Mario is. How do you not know Sonic? And these movies have been huge. She watches a lot of TV, too. I'm like, I'm sure you've seen the commercials. You just are ignoring it. But because of all this, we're getting this. Sonic the Hedgehog 4 greenlit ahead of Sonic 3 release. Well, Sonic 3 is out now, but Paramount Pictures has set its sights on expanding the adventures of everyone's favorite supersonic hero. The studio has confirmed ahead of this weekend's release of Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Sonic the Hedgehog 4 is on track to debut in spring 2027. Yep, just keep printing that money, man. The decision arrives at a pivotal moment. Sonic 3 is gearing up for its theatrical launch, with projections blah 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 blah. We knew about all that. As holiday season approaches, industry insiders anticipate this newest chapter in Sonic's cinema journey will dominate the domestic box office. Paramount will then introduce the movie to 52 international territories on Christmas Day. Huge. Gonna be big. Gonna be bigly. Look at that. That's an awesome shot. Adding to the series' cultural footprint, the character's universe expanded earlier this year with the Knuckles spin-off series on Paramount+. Sonic 3 faces stiff competition this weekend from Disney's Mufasa The Lion King, which I heard was actually pretty good. I'll give it a watch. I'm like, my thing is, like, if you watch the cartoon, Scar is very dark. He has a black mane. Like, he's dark and evil looking. And in the live action, he's like white and washed out. He's one of them Caucasian lions. I'm like, why though? I think it makes him look sickly, not evil. But I don't know. Maybe they were like, well, we don't want him to be dark and evil. I mean, that's racist. I don't know. That's the way a lot of these weirdos think. So that's what I'm trying to figure out here. But the big budget Lion King prequel is expected to draw $50 million at the box office, while holding the lion's share of Dolby and IMAX theaters and their far higher ticket prices. Yeah, so, and then it goes on to talk about projections that we already talked about. While Sonic 4 is on its way, fans will have to wait patiently for any glimpse of its storyline. For now, Paramount is remaining tight-lipped on what it plans for the future of the franchise. However, we will see Sonic and Friends again in 2027. So there you go. Huge success for the Hedgehog. Good stuff. 2 good family-friendly films released around Christmas time. How about that? I guess we got Red One, but I was going to say I'm a little disappointed that we haven't got a really, and apparently this is not a really good one, but we have not got a good new Christmas film in in years. I can't remember the last year where like a new Christmas movie came out and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that looks great." Everybody loved it. It's going to be a classic. As a kid, it was like almost every Christmas we were getting new Christmas movies, and they would live in infamy forever. And like they were like, "Oh, we got to rewatch that one," you know. I think last year they did a Christmas Story Part 2. I didn't care. I watched it because I was bored and I had time off, but I didn't like the first one. I feel like the second one was slightly more interesting, but I don't know. My grandmother used to always put on A Christmas Story, and I would leave the room because I would start watching it and I'm like, this is really dumb. And I would leave, and I hated that movie. And I still, as an adult, I hate it. I got drunk on eggnog one night, watched it with my wife, and just like laughed at it the whole time, made fun of it. It was awful. So, ho ho ho. I have not gotten my alcoholic eggnog yet, but might do that for New Year's Eve. Hey, kitty. Gracie wants attention. Her allergies have been flaring up lately, so 'tis the season for that as well. Sorry. Either way, moving on. This one kind of made me laugh. It's not a terrible casting, but this whole movie, everybody's race swapped except the villains, and it's being made by Amazon, so it's probably going to be trash. There's a greater than 50% chance that this movie is just going to be awful. But plus, it's got Jared Leto in it, and he hasn't been in anything good in a long time. People will say Dallas Buyers Club. I refuse to watch that movie. I couldn't give a crap less about that story, about him dressing in drag and whatever. So, but Morbius was not good. That Suicide Squad movie he was in was not good. My gosh, Grace. All right, you made your camera debut. Bye, kitty. All right, anyway. Jared Leto cast as Skeletor in upcoming He-Man live-action movie. It's Morbin time. Wait, wrong movie. Lame. Jared Leto will be terrorizing the masters of the universe as the villain Skeletor in the upcoming live-action movie adaptation. I take that back what I said. He was in, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, I kind of liked the new Haunted Mansion. And he was the Hatbox Ghost. It's spoiler, I guess, but, you know, he was the Hatbox Ghost. And he was fine. He does the creepy voice really good, which I think would be, you know, translate well to Skeletor. But then again, I thought he had a good Joker laugh, and that did not translate well because he never did it as the Joker. So, that was weird. But the Hollywood Reporter says Leto has joined the cast of the upcoming Masters of the Universe movie as the villain Skeletor, opposite Nicholas Galitzine, who was cast as He-Man. Rounding the Skeletor's evil crew are Sam C. Wilson as Trapjaw, Hafthor Bjornsson as Goatman, Kojo Ata as Triclops, and the previously cast Alison Brie as Evil Lynn. Idris Elba has been cast as Man-at-Arms, while Camila Mendez will play Tila. Cool. Skeletor is a main villain, blah blah blah. He's a skull-faced wizard who wishes to take over the planet of Eternia. Yada yada. We get it. So there you go. Jared Leto taking over as Skeletor. He'll probably be fine. But I just think the whole movie's going to be a garbage. That's just me. It's just, I have no faith in this whatsoever. But y'all will have to let me know what you think down in the comments and all that. Or hit me up on social media. Hold on a second. I got breaking news here. It's political news, so I just want to see what the hell it is. Not going to broadcast it. Okay. Blake Lively's co-stars support her. Okay. In a lawsuit against Baldoni. Yeah, I'm not talking about that, by the way. Um, if anybody heard anything about Blake Lively is accusing some co-star from something or other of some not good stuff, yeah, I'll say I'll leave it at that. But if you want to look it up, it's Blake Lively news. It's pretty spicy, and I don't know anything about it. I just don't really want to talk about it. I'd rather talk about goofy sociopolitical stuff and whether something's going to be good or garbage. And this, I actually think is going to be good. Let's get into talk about some Superman here. I played on the stream last week. I went over the new trailer. The quartering is usually better about this kind of stuff, but I think he didn't really care that much on on his stream whether it got taken down or not. He started watching the trailer for Superman, and he got DMCA'd like right out the gate. Did my everything freeze? My gosh. Okay, let me pull this back. Oh gosh. Yeah, because I also don't know. It's like pulling up an ad. Stupid. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Is it going to move? Am I going to be able to go over this article? That would be super cool. All right. But yeah, he got DMCA'd for watching it. I kept pausing it. I know it was a little annoying, but I would pause and skip and whatever because I didn't want to get hit. They're very stingy with this stuff, which you would figure you want streamers to kind of review your stuff, like free publicity and whatnot. I mean, it's a trailer, right? It's a commercial for your movie, but apparently not. David Ayers claps back at angry Snyderverse fans amid support for James Gunn's Superman trailer. David Ayer is striking back at his own supporters after expressing support for James Gunn's new Superman trailer and the extended DC universe the Guardians of the Galaxy director is trying to establish. The backlash comes from the same fan base that fervently clings to Zack Snyder's failed Snyderverse continuing and has been aggressively campaigning for Ayers' cut of the 2016 Suicide Squad. Ayers himself supports the fan movement to bring his original cut of the film to life. Yeah, because the movie was not very good, I'll say. I liked the James Gunn version a lot better. I don't know. The original just looked like Hot Topic threw up, but Ayer himself supports the fan movement to bring the original cut of the film to life. However, these overzealous fans clearly stepped over the line, eliciting a sharply worded response. Yeah, instead of fostering a collaborative environment, these fans are now portrayed as entitled detractors, undermining both Ayer and Gunn's efforts to advance the DC franchise. Yeah, pretty much. Days before Gunn released his highly anticipated Superman trailer, Ayer addressed his followers on social media, urging them to reconsider their aggressive campaign to push for his version of Suicide Squad at the expense of Gunn's project. Okay, this is... Do they have the whole thing written out here? Yeah, okay. I didn't realize James was dropping Creature Commandos when the last Ayer cut campaign hit. Ayer said on X post dated December 17th. The new Superman trailer is dropping soon, and I know there's intentions of another campaign for my version of Squad. By aligning himself with Gunn's project, Ayer signaled a shift away from catering to demanding expectations of his fan base. Ayer continued his message, emphasizing his support for fellow filmmakers. Quote, as a filmmaker, I want to support other filmmakers, he noted. I'm excited to see the trailer and have heard through the rumor mill it's pretty incredible. He further advised his supporters to stay far clear of Thursday for any campaigning, aiming to prevent their actions from overshadowing the release of Gunn's Superman trailer. Good lord, yeah. And then, there we go. So disappointing to see this tweet. So much suckery or how much suckery are you going to do, yo, WB and Gunn? Okay. I think he means to WB and Gunn. All the support we showed you, and you do this, I think they mean. Good lord. And then let's see this. My lord. Okay. What's the whole thing? My lord, he said, if something, or if supporting another filmmaker is contentious, I'm just lost at this point. When I was a kid, I had a nightmare childhood. My best friends were comic books. They held me and gave me company when no one else did. These heartfelt sentiments revealed Ayer's genuine passion for the genre, yet his alignment with Gunn has only deepened the rift with his once loyal supporters. Ayer didn't hesitate to reinforce his enthusiasm for Gunn's project. I cannot effing wait to see James's trailer. Real talk, and I cannot wait to see his film. Absolutely am sure he crushed it, because that simple optimism of Superman is all over it, and the little kid in me needs that right now. I honestly cannot stand the Snyder Bros. Like, at first I was like, okay, it worked. This goes on and on and on. They got the Snyder Cut released of the with the Justice League, and it was really good. I liked it. I hated the original. From the doofus who did or Joss Whedon. That's it. I hated his original. I love the Snyder Cut. It was great, but just leave it alone. It's dead. It's not coming back. They're not going to bring it back. Nobody cares, bro. All these people on X and just all of social media just crying and whining about Zack Snyder and the Snyderverse and the DC Universe. It was okay. All right? We got one good Aquaman film. We got one good Wonder Woman film. And we got Man of Steel, and then the Snyder Cut of the Justice League. That was it. It was fine. I enjoyed it for what it was when it happened. But dang, dude, like, just let this be. You're like attacking James Gunn, who, by the way, up until now, like, people loved, and now there's this thing being passed around. I saw Razor Fist going after him, like, he's never made a good movie ever. Like, eat all the ass, dude. Like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. You're joking, right? You're freaking joking. James Gunn has never made a good movie. Yeah, and then he was like, oh, the Guardians of the Galaxy was just Farscape and whatever. Like, give me a break. Quit being this way. Can people just, like, quit for, like, 5 minutes? Be normal. Quit being so, combative, and quit being the, well, actually meme for like 5 minutes. This looks like a good movie. It looks fun, and I'm sure we will all enjoy it. And people will go see it. People will have fun with it. I definitely will. And I know a lot of people who will. Like, the only people crying about this and making fun of it are people that just, like, live online. And that's all they do. And they're just looking to nitpick everything. Like, I get that's, like, the nature of a lot of this content online is just nitpicking stuff. And I do it too. I'm not going to lie and say I don't nitpick stuff, but I also try to be fair. That's why if anybody goes back, I have a playlist of reviews for Doctor Who for this past season, which, by the way, the Christmas special is coming up on Christmas, as far as I know. Doctor Who Christmas Special 2024. Release time. When is it? 5:10 p.m. with their time. So it'd be what? 10? Is that 10 p.m. Here in America? Oh wait, no. On Disney Plus on the same day, same time, which is, oh, okay. I did the math really wrong. 12 p.m. Eastern time on Christmas. Cool. So I can open gifts and sit and watch Doctor Who with the wife. It's probably not going to be good, but I'll watch it and I will review it fairly. If it is good, I'll say it's good. If it's bad, I'll say it's bad. You know, I'm not going to just watch it to crap on it. But I was very fair with those reviews. I try to be very fair with all my reviews. If there's something that I like, I'll say it. If there's something I hate, I'll say it. But these people just acting like this trailer sucks and it looks bad and it's gonna bomb or whatever, like, you're so disingenuous. And like, maybe quit being like such a hard nerd online all day. Where, uh, I'm trying to think of the name of the one I'm trying to think of. I'm having a brain fart, but everything has to be like, oh, I know a guy like that. Oh, this sucks. A lot of people love it, but it sucks. It's so bad. I hate it. Freaking everything. He likes like a small sect of things. And if you talk crap about that, he'll like go off on you, which is hilarious, but I don't know. Maybe just go out and enjoy life once in a while. Something that cannot be enjoyed right now. This is frustrating and hilarious all at the same time. Explosive new report alleges James Bond future on pause amid ugly stalemate with Amazon. These people are effing idiots. Here we go from IGN, everybody. I've been seeing build up to this, and I just thought, wow. This is stupid. James Bond is still an extremely valuable IP, and they can't figure out what to do with it in the year 2024. Because Hollywood is full of morons. And then when you get Amazon involved in it, it's even worse. Because Amazon, they're like, we can't have a strong, stoic, British, womanizing, manly man as the protagonist? Like, what? We can't have that. What's wrong with you? Got to be a strong, independent minority woman that don't need no man. But an explosive new report has alleged the future of James Bond franchise is on pause amid what was described as an ugly stalemate between the family in control of the character and Amazon. You got in bed with the devil. I don't know what to tell you. The behind-the-scenes battle between Barbara Broccoli, who retains creative control over Bond and decides who plays the iconic British spy, and Amazon, which acquired the right to release Bond movies after it bought MGM in a deal worth $8.45 billion back in 2021, and left Bond trapped, the Wall Street Journal reported. Is that what it stands for? Metro Goldwyn Mayer? I guess I never really thought about it. I always see it in the MGM logo, and I just never think about it. Broccoli, according to the report, doesn't trust the algorithmic-centric Amazon with the Bond character, preferring to use gut instinct with a healthy amount of risk. I mean, it depends, I guess. According to the Wall Street Journal, when Broccoli cast the relatively unknown Daniel Craig as Bond in 2006's hugely successful Casino Royale and its sequels, Amazon preferred to calculate risk based on factors including an actor's past performance or the prior success of similar films. Amazon isn't keen on casting an unknown in the lead role of Bond, Wall Street Journal reported. Of course they're not. The upshot of all of this is that there's no script and no new Bond for a new movie. The Wall Street Journal said, to friends, Broccoli has characterized her thoughts on Amazon this way: these people are effing idiots. She's not wrong. I'll say that. Bond production company Eon said Broccoli had no comment. She is correct, though. Amazon doesn't know what the hell they're doing. When it comes to the Amazon business and like how that's run, yes. But when it comes to like Prime Video and stuff like that, and like Amazon movies and shows, no, they're stupid. They don't know what the hell they're doing. And I could throw out a few examples of that with The Wheel of Time, The Rings of Power. They're idiots. And this is another one that they're gonna crap all over. We'll see what they do with Warhammer. That Secret Level, I guess, did well. I'm gonna watch that eventually. But one of the biggest questions in Hollywood is who will play the next Bond. Kraven the Hunter star Aaron Taylor Johnson is the candidate to have gained the most traction so far, with British tabloid The Sun reporting in March that the actor had received a formal offer to become Craig's successor. Idris Elba is often mentioned as a potential Bond too. I think he's too old. Not that he can't do it, but hold on a second. The Wall Street Journal said Broccoli had no issue casting a non-white or gay actor as Bond, but insists Bond is always played by a British man. As for Amazon, apparently there are no internal discussions about Bond's place in the modern world and whether the valorization of a dangerously violent, womanizing secret agent is what's best for society today. Shut the F up. What? It's not your place to say what's best for society today. What do they want to see? Put that out. My God. This is what I was looking at. Nintendo fans laugh as Switch gets Wukong's son Black Legends. Okay. Apparently that's... I have heard of that game. I don't know what it is, though. But getting back to this, dude, that's what Bond is. He does well in that role. When you do that, people watch it. You make money. Isn't that your whole job, to figure out what people want to watch, what they will pay for? Isn't James Bond it? But no, look, we will tell you what's best for society today. You're effing Amazon. Shut the F up. I can't even fathom that. Yeah, Amazon and Jeff Bezos and the complete, I almost said the R word, the complete idiots, the mental deficients he hired to run Prime Video and all things Prime Video, they will tell you what you want to watch. They will tell you what's best for society. They're not just going to give you what you want, which is James freaking Bond, the way he's always been. From one extreme to the other, going from James Bond to Barbie. Barbie fans furious over alleged attempts to franchise Barbie amid conflicting reports of Barbie 2 being in early development. Here we go. Barbie and Greta Gerwig, or was Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach's $1.4 billion miracle that most independent films can only dream of. Creating an original film is a gamble that most big studios don't take, which is why Barbie's commercial success is considered a game changer for the industry. They made a long feminist toy commercial, is what they did. It's not exactly like you wrote this deep think piece from scratch. Whatever, either way. However, the report suggests that the hit comedy could soon join Hollywood's franchise craze, and fans are not impressed. On December 13th, 2024, THR cited sources close to Greta Gerwig, her husband Noah Baumbach, and Warner Bros., saying the couple had an idea for a Barbie sequel, and that they had even pitched it to Warner Bros. Yeah, a sequel to that would get greenlit in a heartbeat. Anyway, quote, while it's said to be in early stages, it's understood that finding the story has opened the door for deal talk, which again is early. Another source with direct knowledge confirms, they wrote. The report was, however, quickly contradicted by the representatives of both Warner Bros. And Gerwig. Well then. Barbie fans quickly reacted to the news on messaging platforms, including Reddit. Oh, yeah. With most of them condemning the idea. Reddit's where all the smart people go, by the way. This is unnecessary. I love the first one, but just because something is popular doesn't mean it needs a sequel. The first one ended perfectly, one Redditor said. Yeah, I love Barbie and do not want this. They managed to pull off the impossible with the first one, given all the baggage of the Barbie brand. It's hard to do that twice, another one added. The baggage, my gosh. No, seems like a cash grab. Well, of course it is. Well, they said cash crab, but they meant grab. Of course it's a cash grab. It's a Barbie movie. What the F else are you going to do with it? She decides she wants to be a real girl and get into feminism, reject feminism. I don't fully... I think she's getting into it. And Ken is just a useless side character piece of crap. So, him and all the Kens are relegated to nothingness. Barbie is a social satire masterpiece. It needs no sequel. All that is wrong. Let it stand alone and shine. Another fan decried decried the franchising attempt. However, another group of fans welcomed the development, citing it as an opportunity to have a female-led franchise. Quote, if we're going to have franchises, why not have something a bit more thought-provoking and empathetic than the average MCU, Jurassic, Minions direction we're currently in? Barbie generated discussions in ways that those films never did, on top of taking over the box office. Okay, the discussions about the deeper meanings of Barbie were had by insufferable a-holes. Like, actual people just said it's crap and moved on. But whatever. Oh my god. Can you believe what Barbie taught us? Shut up. You're not an interesting person. Despite the uproar, the prospects for a Barbie sequel seem higher than ever as the studios look to cash it in on the film's global popularity. While a sequel is not guaranteed to outperform the original film, the existing fan base likely ensures the studios a modest return, making it a safer investment for them than gambling on an original film. The companies and writers involved in Barbie have been seen to welcome the idea of a sequel as the pressure to cash in increases before memories fade. Yeah. Whoopity-doo. Physicist Barbie? Wow. Okay. Stereotypical Barbie and Ken, and then physicist Barbie. Yikes. Let's see. Let's hear. This is what actual Greta Gerwig had to say. Back in July of 2023, she said, this is forever ago. Are you sure it's 2023? She said, at this moment, that's all I've got. I feel like that at the end of every movie, like I've never had another, let me try this again. Like, I'll never have another idea, and everything I've ever wanted to do, I did. I wouldn't want to squash anybody else's dream, but for me, at this moment, I'm at total zero. I mean, I kind of get that. Unless you're planning on franchising it out to begin with. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, if they don't make a Barbie 2, I'll be super shocked. I'll just say that. It was... As much as I think it was just crap, just straight garbage of a film, and people like build it up way too freaking much, like it meant something more than just being a feminist toy commercial, then whatever, like, it did make a lot of money at the end of the day. So I can't deny that. So good for Barbie or whatever. If it makes if they make a sequel, it'll probably be successful. All these people crying, no, not another franchise, whatever. Like, okay, but you want more girl power movies, right? Apparently, the only way they can do that is through Barbie now. So, take what you can get. All right. Speaking of franchises, excuse me. The Mummy movie confirmed for 2026, coming from Evil Dead Rise director in 2026. Why did you say it twice in the same headline? The Mummy is set for a horror reimagining in 2026. Lee Cronin, writer and director of 2023's Evil Dead Rise, is on board to write and direct the new take on it for horror film specialist Blumhouse Productions. This will be unlike any Mummy movie you ever laid eyeballs on before, Cronin told The Hollywood Reporter. I'm digging deep into the earth to raise something very ancient and very frightening. In a tweet, Cronin teased his new The Mummy movie will be terrifying. Cool, make it a horror film, whatever. The Mummy movies from the early 2000s, I love them, but they were like horror action films. And they were good. They were just, oh my gosh. They're old and, whatever. They weren't like the original Mummy at all. The original Mummy was kind of boring. I mean, the black and white one, I watched it. It was fine, but it was just kind of boring. I love the first Mummy movie with Brendan Fraser. The second one was not great. The third one was straight dog crap. And then they tried to redo it with Tom Cruise and a female mummy. But they were like, we're going to launch a franchise off of this. And they just jammed everything into it. And it was terrible. It was bad. I still don't know what the hell was supposed to go on with, no, okay. I still don't know what the hell was supposed to go on with Tom Cruise's character. What he was, like some kind of monster thing that raised his buddy from the dead, Nick from New Girl. Whatever. Hopefully this is good. I don't like the Evil Dead movies. I think they're gross. I think they're just, I don't know. I don't like gore and just crap like that. Like, I thought it was overwrought. But my wife said they were really good. She liked them, so I will watch this. I enjoy The Mummy, like the story of The Mummy. So if they can make it like another, not necessarily action, because the last one they tried to make it too actiony, not enough horror, more action. So make this one scary. That's what I'll say. And it goes into the history of the mummies, or the Mummy movies, excuse me, what I just said. IGN's Evil Dead Rise review returned a 9 out of 10. They said Evil Dead Rise is both a familiar and refreshing Evil Dead sequel that delivers all the gore you'd expect, with a measured dose of the humor that makes this series a fan favorite. I don't know where the hell the humor came from, but see, Blumhouse's The Mummy is due out April 17th, 2026. Really? Oh, I didn't realize that Blumhouse is making it. So, they're pretty good about actually making horror. So there's that. Yeah, so I'll watch it when it comes out. But we have to see. We have to see if they're are they gonna stick to the original Universal Monsters Mummy story with Imhotep? Because if so, cool. I don't know. I don't know at this point. Real quick, because we're finally out of movies now. We're gonna get into some TV. We're gonna get into some games. We're gonna get into some anime. We're gonna get into just a bunch of stuff. Comic books, Disney World, all that. But if you want to subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/@MarksOnMedia, or I'd really appreciate your follows on Twitter, or Rumble. As you can see, wrong hand. This side right here, rumble.com/C/MarksOnMedia. I am on X and Instagram. I am on Facebook. I'm all over the place. I'm also on Blue Sky. I'm on True Social. I'm on Gab Social. I'm on Getter. Follow me on there. Look up Marks on Media, and you'll find me. So I am everywhere. Facebook is the only one that's different, because all my handles are either Marks on Media or Marks_on_media. Except for Facebook, which doesn't allow you to do that, so it's Marks on Media Tube. So either way, but I'm live on Facebook if you want to follow me on there too. I don't check it out a whole lot, but I am on there, so I do see messages. I am mostly active on X, but I'm on Getter, Gab, Blue Sky, Truth, all of it. So if you want to talk to me, or you can comment on the fastest way to get a hold of me, either on X or on YouTube. Rumble, I check the comments on there too, but it's a lot of spam. Lots and lots of spam on Rumble. YouTube, though, I'm on there. You can get a hold of me in the comment section all the time. It's Marks underscore on, or no, I'm sorry, at Marks on Media on YouTube. Please subscribe, like this video, share it around, all that good stuff. And I post long form stuff that's more put together. My live streams are kind of free balling it, so. But I wanted to get into this because this is going to get a little spoilery. If people have not seen the ending of Yellowstone, plug your ears. I'll try to make this go quickly. So once you see me flip to the next story, I'm done. But I'm going to start some spoilers right now. For those that haven't, I can't stop thinking about it. It took me a while to get to the end of, watch the finale of Yellowstone. And they're making this new spinoff called The Madison that I don't think has anything to do with the Dutton family, or it's going to loosely have to do with the Dutton family. It's like a rich people. The Madison is like a rich person owned hotel in whatchamacallit, in New York. And then Michelle Pfeiffer's in it, and I went over last week. They cast a bunch of people for it that I've never heard of in my life, but they're going to do a sequel eventually to Yellowstone. They haven't come up with a name for it yet or said what it's going to be about. We can pretty much figure it out. But here are the spoilers. Here's your warning: spoilers for Yellowstone. So they have the funeral for John. And at the funeral, Beth leans into the casket and says, "I will avenge you." And then she goes and like changes into street clothes, grabs a can of bear mace and a knife, and heads for Jamie's house. And Rip figures it out like way late, like what the hell is going on. And all the cowboys kind of take off. I'll get to that in a bit, but Rip follows Beth, and Lloyd hops in the car or the truck with him, and they track her down, but she's there way before they are. She sneaks into Jamie's house and waits for him to come home, and then she starts beating him with a crowbar and bear maces him. But Jamie's a dude who was raised on a farm, so even though he's a kind of a wuss, he can still take on Beth, who's like 100 pounds soaking wet. And he takes her down, starts beating the piss out of her. And then he's like, "Well, I'm just going to call 911, turn you in, and be done with it. And you're going to get nothing. And I'm going to sell off the ranch and all that and make a bunch of money." And she's like, "Nah, we sold it." That was the other thing. They sold the ranch to, I forget the Native American character. Like the guy who runs the reservation, basically. I feel bad. I like his character. The side characters and even the ones that have been there since the beginning, like the cowboys, I don't remember a lot of their names. I remember Teeter. I remember Colby, who unfortunately died this season, and that's about it. Travis became kind of a crap in the last couple of episodes. They jammed in a bunch of backstory with him that I was like, dude, why? Nobody cares. I remember Walker and Teeter and all of them. Ryan is the name of the cowboy I'm thinking of. I'll get to him in a bit. But anyway, Chief Thomas something. It's cutting off the name. Chief Thomas Rainwater. That's it. Man, I blanked on that name. He saw Casey and Beth agree to sell the entire ranch for $1.25, $1.25 an acre, back to Thomas Rainwater and the reservation, under the for, like I said, $1.25 an acre, for under the condition that they can't develop it, they can't sell it, and Casey gets to live in that house he's been living in with his family. They get that little plot, and and he gets to have like a mini ranch right there in that area, and that's it. And then Beth and Rip went and bought their own ranch, and they're taking Carter with them. But and reservations aren't legally allowed to sell the land off. Whatever, it has to be like a preservation. And they're like, well, we're going to tear down everything except for Casey's little area there. And we'll leave your family cemetery there where it is. Not going to dig up the bodies or knock over the headstones. And we'll just preserve it. But Beth lets this slip to Jamie, or not lets it slip, but tells him. He freaks the F out and decides, well, now I'm going to end you. And he, like, tries to choke her out. By that time, Rip busts in, starts beating the crap out of Jamie, puts him through the wall and whatever. And then Beth takes out the knife and does what she does to Jamie. And she said, I want my face to be the last one you see. I think she said that quite a few times in the series. And that's it. And then she tells Rip to take Jamie to the train station. Train station. And she'll figure it out from there. Him and Lloyd take Jamie, dump him off where his real dad is dumped off. And they set his vehicle on fire. Make it look like he was trying to get rid of evidence, and he took off. Nobody's ever going to find the body and all that. And then Beth called 911, gave him a story about she came over there to confront him about missing their father's funeral and basically blame him for the death. Jamie freaked out, tried to take her out, and then she blacked out and woke up. Jamie was gone. So there's that. But yeah. So the Cowboys all went. Well, first of all, she did get that ranch. Her Rip and Carter went off to do that. The Native Americans tear down everything on the Yellowstone, and they're gonna respect the land. It's really emotional, and it's nice because they're like Rainwater's talking to the casket of John, and it's like, I'm gonna preserve your land. The land of my people and your family's land. It's going to be preserved. It's going to be taken care of. It's not going to be developed on. Both of our dreams come true at the same time. It's kind of a beautiful ending. I really liked it. I'm just taken aback by the ending of Jamie. Threw me off completely. Like that, I was like, wow. I'll get into predictions for the sequel here in a bit. But anyway, the Cowboys, first, they jammed a bunch of backstory or just a bunch of story for Taylor Sheridan's character of Travis into the last couple episodes, and it was bad. You go from he's like, he's an okay character, to you go like to hating him because he's just like such an obnoxious ass and a womanizer, and it's just like, why are you here, dude? And you get all this backstory of him and Rip that we didn't need. Dumb. But Jimmy had went off. He's working for Travis now. Teeter got a job with Travis, and she's off with him now. Ryan went off to find Lainey Wilson. They're back together. He's going to be like her roadie, I guess, because it don't pay much to Cowboy anymore. And he's tired of doing that. Colby, unfortunately, passed away. Kicked to his demise by a horse. Yeah, that sucks. Lloyd, I think, is sticking around the Yellowstone. He's going off to another ranch in the area. And then Walker, him and his girlfriend are going off to Texas to a ranch. I don't know if it's going to be the 4-6s or what. I told you what happened with Casey, Beth, and Rip. Yeah, that's about the extent of it. And the other ones went off to different ranches too. There's Jake. I didn't realize his real name is Jake. He's going to another ranch as well. I don't know if he's going to Texas or sticking around the area. I can't remember. But either way, the goodbyes were really heartfelt, and it felt like you were saying goodbye to the show. So I enjoyed the finale. The only thing I can think of, predictions for the future, Jamie's baby mama, Christina, is the only one still alive that could possibly give a damn about what happened to him. She's probably going to look right at Beth, because her and Beth have hated each other forever. Christina is nasty, so she's going to get into a fight and probably start some stuff, and that's probably going to go into, what happens next. Casey held a pew pew to a child of a person who ends lives for a living, we'll say. And I don't think that's going to end well. Like, I think the guy's not just going to let that go after Casey warned him. So he's going to have to fight but Mo has his back. The Native Americans have his back. So, and Mo is a ice cold kind of guy. I dig it. But that's my prediction for whenever they finally decide, hey, we're going to do a sequel here. There's been no news. They announced that The Madison. I'm like, who cares? I don't know. I mean, cool, Michelle Pfeiffer involved in the Yellowstone universe, but it's not Yellowstone. So either way, let's get to this actual story. Wow. Okay. You gonna? Sorry, my computer is messing up. Here we go. Kevin Costner finally breaks his silence on Yellowstone finale in classic Costner style. I'm not going to read because I went so long on this. Let's see. Given the information about his departure and his previous comments that he had not seen the episode where his character was ended, we shouldn't be surprised that Costner is not too interested in keeping up with Yellowstone. In a video shared by Daily Mail, Costner is asked about the series finale and responds, "I'm not thinking about that. I don't think I've given it any thought. We'll just let it go." Yeah, I mean, it sucks. I get it, but... And then here you see here, earlier this month, Luke Grimes, who played Casey, talked about filming part 2 of the season. He said it was actually the easiest season to film, and that without Costner on set, some of the conflict was gone. When asked if he had spoken with Grimes, Costner shared, "We're done talking." Yeah, so they clearly didn't get along. And that was another thing Casey said, because he told Tate when they went up and they laid flowers on the casket, he told his son Tate, he's like, "Well, say whatever you need to say, even if it's in your head. This is the last time you're going to talk to him, whatever." And he's like, "Well, what did you say?" And he said, "I told him I forgive him." And that was really nice, because Casey was treated like crap by John. Really, really bad stuff. But, let's see. Despite getting slammed by fans online, it pulled in very high viewership numbers, making it the most watched episode in the show's history. I'm not shocked. The divisive series finally saw Casey selling the ranch to High Chief Thomas Rainwater and Beth Dutton, avenging her father's ending. A Yellowstone spinoff has already been confirmed, so while audiences are saying goodbye to the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch, we don't have to bid farewell to fan favorites Beth and Rip, Cole Hauser just yet. Currently, Riley, Hauser, and Sheridan are the only names attached to the project. Oh, I thought they got Luke Grimes signed on too, but there's also room for more Yellowstone castmates to join the unnamed series. While there may be some resentment towards Sheridan and the way John's ending unfolded, Yellowstone lovers will likely want to see more of Beth and Rip. Their enduring and passionate relationship and the characters' continued popularity ensured a dedicated audience that will likely tune in to see how their story continues. And while John's ending was undoubtedly a blow for much of Yellowstone's fanbase, Grimes previously noted that the Dutton patriarch was never intended to live out the series. Yeah, I kind of figured. I mean, it was always the plan for him to have to go away for the story to really ramp up, and that was the story. You lost a patriarch of the family. Can the kids do it on their own? I think originally he was supposed to be ended much earlier, so in a way, they got way more of John Dutton than what we were going to originally get. That's what Luke Grimes stated. Yeah, and Horizon and American Saga Part 1 is on Max. Yellowstone is on Peacock. There you go. In my personal opinion, I think Yellowstone is one of the greatest shows ever. I feel like it ended well. The second to last, like I said, the penultimate episode sucked. It was crap. It didn't need to happen. I feel like Taylor Sheridan had enough material for like 1.5 episodes, and he just dragged it out to 2. I don't know. The penultimate episode was just so awful in many ways, and Taylor Sheridan had to show off more of his character and get himself in there more. Bella Hadid was his girlfriend, which like weird flex, dude. But yeah, I don't know. Either way, that's the end of Yellowstone. Moving on to another topic here. I don't want to go. I'm definitely not going 3 hours today. I'm like more than halfway done with my topics. So we're going to try to keep it a reasonable time here today. Maybe an hour and a half. Probably going to be an hour and a half. Anime news, everybody. Dan to Dan Season 2 announced, and it's just a few months away. This from IGN. Dan to Dan has immediately been renewed for Season 2 following the release of Episode 12 and conclusion of Season 1 today, December 19th, and it's just a few months away. I've been really wanting to watch that. My wife said she wanted to get into it. Excuse me. And I'm excited to get into it. It looks good. I heard it's great. Everybody loves it. It's like the new hot one. Kind of like how Kaiju number 8 was. I'm probably not going to do like a big review for it at the end like I did with Kaiju number 8, but hopefully I get to watching it soon. I'm getting new games for Christmas, I know, so I'm probably going to be gaming a lot for the rest of the week, but plus I wanted to get in some Witcher 3 playing and all that, so either way. Crunchyroll echoed the announcement from Dan to Dan's social media account by revealing Season 2 episodes would come directly to its streaming service upon their release in July 2025. Nothing else was said about the new season, though. It will continue following the adventures of Momo Ayase and her classmate Ken Okuran Takakura. I'm very sorry I haven't seen the show yet, so I don't know how they pronounce their names. The upcoming story isn't exactly unknown, of course, since the original Dan to Dan manga is currently ongoing in Shonen Jump and has been since 2021. Yeah, I heard they're not very far behind. Like, the manga's fairly new, the anime's fairly new. The only thing I hate about that, especially when they're like boom, boom, boom with the animes coming out along with the manga, they had that issue with the original Full Metal Alchemist show or anime, and that's why they came out with Brotherhood, because they hadn't finished the manga by the time they were wrapping up Full Metal Alchemist, the anime. And the author was like, dude, I don't want my manga spoiled, so change the anime, give it a different ending. And they like, apparently the finale, or the last third, I want to say, maybe less, but close to the last third of the original Full Metal Alchemist is not like the anime, but Brotherhood apparently is very close to the manga. But anyway, when high schooler Momo, from a family of spirit mediums, first meets her classmate Okarun, an occult geek, they argue. Momo believes in ghosts but denies aliens, and Okarun believes in aliens but denies ghosts. Ooh, disagreement. How will we resolve this? When it turns out both phenomena are real, Momo awakens a hidden power, and Okarun gains the power of a curse. Together, they must challenge the paranormal forces threatening their world. And they gave it an 8 out of 10. So, I don't really trust IGN for reviews. Kind of curious to see what Rotten Tomatoes gives it here. Sorry, I got breaking news. Political stuff. Oh, good God. Okay. Rotten Tomatoes. Do they have Dan to Dan on Rotten Tomatoes? I guess we'll find out together. So, I'm trying to build up some new Christmas movies to watch. I heard Fat Man is pretty good. I watched Silent Night, or Violent Night, with David Harbour, and I liked it. I really liked that one. My wife and I watched that, I think, last year. It was really good. And I heard Fat Man is like that. I love Mel Gibson. My wife loves Mel Gibson. So, and he plays Santa. Apparently, it's like a similar thing. The Quartering keeps talking about it, so I'm like, oh, I'll give it a watch. Bro, I just want to see your rating, man. Holy crap. I think I... No, not the video. I just want the show. Another one, I heard 8-Bit Christmas is good. I might have to watch that one alone. I don't know if my wife would give a crap. Got Neil Patrick Harris in it. I like... I always think of Moe from The Simpsons. He had a hairless cat he named Neil Patrick Hairless. Always makes me laugh. And then, Red One. I want to see Red One. I know I got trashed, but I like some good garbage Christmas movies sometimes, man. Like, it's got The Rock, it's got Chris Evans. It's gonna be bad, but you know what? I'll watch it. They're gonna be good. You got J.K. Simmons playing Santa, badass Santa. All right. Anyway, looking at this, Rotten Tomatoes gives it. Look at that average tomato meter, which I think is critic reviews, 100%. The popcorn meter, which is like the user reviews, 94%. That's nuts. This anime is just kicking all the ass. IGN actually rated it fairly low compared to them because they gave it an 8, which would, that'd be like an 80%. Dude. Oh, Timothy Chalamet's new A Complete Unknown film. What is it, where he plays Bob Dylan. Only has a 70%, which is generally favorable. But, and I'm looking on Metacritic. I have no interest in that whatsoever. I can't stand Bob Dylan. Never, ever liked Bob Dylan. I know that's going to be... People are going to be like, whoa, now. Looking at Metacritic, Universal Acclaim, 8.4. They're slightly above what they said on IGN. Available after 4 critic reviews. So, on Metacritic... critics aren't reviewing it. 30 people reviewed Dan to Dan on Metacritic. Whoop. Yeah, so there you go. Either way, people like it. Dan to Dan is popular. Don't start singing Wicked. Don't start singing Wicked. For people that know, that's like a really popular song in Wicked. Quick break from entertainment to... Well, this is entertainment too, but... SmackDown officially moving to 3 hours. Is Raw just going to fluctuate week to week like pay-per-views on Peacock? Somewhere between 2.5 and 3. It's not like Netflix has to get to their next show. People won't remember this. But back in the day, because I'm an old man, Monday Night Raw, for y'all you youngsters out there, used to only be 2 hours long, but it would always run over. So it'd be like 10 minutes, 15. Every once in a while, you'd get like an extra 15 minutes of Raw. And it would get cut off by La Femme Nikita. And they would always run that on like the bottom of the USA. They had USA Network had the the Chiron at the bottom, like the lower third. And they were like, stay tuned after Raw for a new episode of La Femme Nikita. That was my that's my JR. But yeah. Oh, supposedly they're going to make a new Avatar series. How about that? Don't care. Avatar: The Last Airbender, by the way, not the blue people Avatar. Got to specify. There are alleged leaks for the next Avatar series, revealing Oh my gosh! Wait a minute. Hold on. What? I just caught that. Revealing. What is it? Because this would go along with our anime discussion. Reveals amputee female protagonist, confirmation of Korra as the most powerful bender. Oh my god. Yes. Yes, I gotta make a short about that. Okay, gotta make a video about that. Gonna do it. All right, give me a second here. Gotta save that for later. That's tasty. That's a tasty one right there. Do 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 do. The daughter is better than the father, of course. And I don't know. I want to watch the live action. People are gonna get so mad at me. Wait a minute, you've never seen the original, like the cartoon, but you're gonna watch the Netflix live action? You damn right. You damn right. Because I don't really care. Okay, so this this picture is gonna be spicy, but stay tuned. Crunchyroll employees reveal merchandise sales struggling after Right Stuff acquisition due to Sony decision to drop racier adult manga and toys. Okay, so when they mean drop, do they mean like not do it, or do they mean drop like put them out in stores? That's what I want to know. According to a new report, though Crunchyroll purchased online anime merchandise retailer Right Stuff with the objective of strengthening their own operation. The acquisition has since proven less than profitable thanks to their parent company Sony's ongoing turn to Puritanism. Oh no, the otakus will be so disappointed. The dominoes that led to the outcome first began to fall in August 2021 when, after roughly 2 years of negotiations and a full-blown antitrust probe with the U.S. Justice Department, Sony completed their purchase of Crunchyroll from then-parent company AT&T for an impressive total of $1.175 billion. No one, Sony, okay. Today I learned, TIL, that Sony owns Crunchyroll. Now I know why people hate it. Good God, what is it? Oh, that's from Dan to Dan. I recognize the names, Okarun and Momo. Good grief. A year later, Crunchyroll announced that in service of bolstering their e-commerce offerings, they had acquired the aforementioned Right Stuff, and though they told the customers that they would continue to provide the same wide variety of products we had offered for 35 years, this assurance came with a notable caveat, as the combined entities subsequently announced that, as part of the new Right Stuff plus Crunchyroll unification, we will be phasing out the erotica genre content and product. Oh no, not the erotica. From there, September 2023 saw Sony officially collapse Right Stuff's retail operation into Crunchyroll proper, thus making their online storefront one in the same. And while Sony ostensibly saw their decision to drop some risque merchandise as a way to entice wider audiences of non-anime fans into shopping with Crunchyroll, it seems the entire endeavor has ultimately backfired on them. You don't say. The typical anime girls, typical. The outcome was first brought to public attention on December 20th, courtesy of Bloomberg's Cecilia D'Anastasio and Takashi Mochizuki. Okay, my bad. My bad for not pronouncing those. Who themselves had reportedly learned the revealing information via personal interviews conducted with 18 current and former Crunchyroll employees. Per their sources, the Sony-owned anime streaming service is currently struggling to both retain paying customers, with their monthly customer turnover rate sitting upwards of 8.5%, and capture the attention of viewers, with cited survey of over 4,000 Americans conducted earlier this year by the online gaming and entertainment site Polygon, noting that 76% of Gen Z anime fans watch shows on Netflix compared with 58% on Crunchyroll. I watch all mine on Hulu. Their sources also informed the pair of reporters that Crunchyroll's purchase of Right Stuff was meant to help their identity crisis, as executives also hoped merchandising would help retain subscribers and boost revenue. And it goes on and on. Unfortunately, 3 former employees admitted that instead the business has shrunk since the acquisition, and formed about 5% of Rate Stuff's revenue. Yeah, so all these pictures are just showing. As of the writing, neither Sony nor Crunchyroll have offered any specific comment on either the financial cost of the Puritanism nor any of the other revelations found within D'Anastasio and Mochizuki's article, with the only official communication from either being a standard PR statement given in response to Bloomberg's request for comment. Yeah, so there you go. They say Puritanism, I say not being a pervert. I know some anime is perverted. It's just the way it is. That's the way they draw their characters and all that stuff. But can we just stop? Can we just have anime, like normal freaking anime, without all that? You get, like, they always put like I said, they always put perverted stuff in anime. Mostly like the shonen kind of animes, but we don't always have to do that, you know. It's it goes a little too far sometimes. Like, I like how they're like, wait a minute, you're not selling big chested anime girl stuff anymore? I will no longer patronize your site. I do feel like Crunchyroll and Sony needs to step it up and figure out, like, new ways to be profitable, new ways to attract new fans to anime. Anime is like, I covered something last week where it's extremely popular. It's insanely popular, but yet Crunchyroll is hated. Like, a lot of people hate Crunchyroll. It's just not well run. A lot of people hate Sony. It's not great. Like with a lot of their business models, but at the same time, I don't know. It's extremely popular. Crunchyroll does really well, but I think they need to, as far as merchandising, they can do more. I would like to see anime be more mainstream, and not because it's super perverted and you got anime jugs all over the place and like 12-year-old boys slobbering all over themselves. Oh my god, the cartoon is Bob's. Big Bob cartoons. Ugh, perverts. Anyway, let's get into some The Witcher. Real quick, before I get into Vidya Games, I'm going to go over an hour and a half, damn it. Probably closer to 2 hours, I'll say. But it's not going to be a mega 3-hour stream like last week. That was crazy. I had more to talk about than I thought. But either way, if you want to follow the channel, youtube.com/@marksonmedia, rumble.com/C/marksonmedia. By the way, I'm going to start porting over in my free time here, what little I have of it, with writing my novel and gaming, you know, because, like, I don't game a whole lot. Like, I've been trying to catch up on, I've been trying to pound away at Hogwarts Legacy. I'm finally at a level 10 with my wizard. I'm finally, like, I'm 6-7% through the game at this point. It's a great game, by the way. It's, like, especially if you're a Harry Potter fan, it's cool. And you get to traverse Hogwarts and Hogsmeade and all that. It's awesome. But regardless, in my free time, I'm going to start porting over the video forms of the old Marks or main event Marks episodes, my excuse me, sinuses, retro wrestling podcast. The entire archives are on YouTube right now. Some of them don't have like motion videos or anything with them. I'm gonna fix that on Rumble. Rumble is also a lot. They give you a lot more leeway without striking your crap. Almost all of my episodes earn me 0 revenue. They're not monetized because going into the break and coming out of the break, I would always have like 3 commercial breaks where I would play like other show promos or whatever. Those I would always play like wrestling theme songs and whatever, and those would always get copyright struck. So every single freaking episode is not monetized, pretty much. So if you could go check it out on Rumble when I get them uploaded, that would be great. I already got episode 1 uploaded. I'm going to start porting over more. Let's see. I don't know. So, a friend of mine and I are talking about what I read earlier about Raw and SmackDown, like, because he's thinking Raw is just going to be like a free ball, like on Netflix, with no time frames. Because he's like, what the hell else? They don't have live programming, so it's not like they got to get into the next show. And I've noticed that with series now, like, it used to be okay. This show is an hour, not anymore. Like House of the Dragon can go. It's got to go an hour or more, and a lot of times it goes more. The Last of Us did that. I still haven't. I got to finish Dune Prophecy. That goes over an hour. It's and he thinks they're just gonna freeball it and kind of do whatever between 2.5 to 3 hours back and forth. Same with SmackDown. And he said hard because I said I think they'll probably still have a hard out. And he said a hard out on a streaming network that doesn't air linear shows. I doubt it. And I said they do that with other things, but time frames are messy now. And that's what I was just talking about. It goes an hour plus or about an hour, so. But, quick thing before I get into the Witcher news. Well, I promise we'll get into this here. I keep digressing. I ordered, they got Christmas trees on sale. We packed ours away, and we got a lot of stuff stored in my mother-in-law's barn right now because we were planning on moving them, and we were like going hot and heavy. We had to clean out the garage. We were really working hard, and then we ended up not finding anything, and like everything just kind of kept getting the works kept getting gunked up. So we're pretty much waiting until spring, most likely. And so all of our stuff is just, we did not pack it well. We just kind of threw it in the barn. We're like, well, when we're taking it out to bring it to the new house, we'll check it out better and we'll kind of organize better. And then like the tree, like the legs fell off, like, because it's one of those plug-in legs, whatever. You got the three plastic legs that plug into the bottom. I lost one, so I had to like prop it up in the corner. It fell one time, shattered my TARDIS that I've had for like, I don't know, 10 years or something. I was pretty pissed. And then and it broke. We have a Titanic from the Titanic Museum down in Tennessee. It broke the steam things off the, I can't think of what they're called, but the smokestacks, whatever, broke them off. I found 3 out of 4 and glued them back on. It looks okay now. Can't really notice too much. But we propped it up in the corner and it was fine. But I was like, man, they have Christmas trees on sale, and we have a really skinny one, and we wanted a big fat one. So I found a nice big beautiful fat one. It looks just amazing, and it came early. So last night it came, and I literally took everything off the one tree and put it right over on the big one. But it took, oh my god, to fluff out that big one took for freaking ever. And I got a white one coming. That one's going to come after Christmas, so that's not getting put up this year. But our next house, we want to have like multiple trees around, just because we're Christmassy people, Either way, getting into stuff you guys care about. The Witcher 4 narrative director responds to backlash over series promotion to protagonist. Says players' wish for more Geralt is valid. Yeah. Because every time we're like, look, we didn't get enough Geralt on Netflix. We didn't get, we want to keep the same amount of Geralt in the games. You're like, yeah, but Ciri. Yeah, but Yennefer. I don't. No. 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 And we'll get into the source material here in a bit. I covered a little bit of this last week, too. I admittedly, I think the trailer looks good. I think the game looks fun. It looks like a Witcher game. And no, I do not think Ciri looks ugly there. If you think that's ugly, all the guys online sitting there like, oh my god, they uglified her. If that was a real woman, like a real woman that looked like this, like said hi to you, you'd freaking mess yourself. Like, give me a break. Either way, far from choosing to denigrate those players who had hoped for The Witcher 4, would once again feature Geralt as its protagonist. The Witcher 4 narrative director Philip Weber has instead admitted that not only does he consider the disappointment over the hero's retirement to be valid, but that it's up to CD Projekt Red themselves to prove that Ciri will be a worthwhile protagonist. Yeah, and I was just pumping them up. Yeah, see, come on. Oh, she's so ugly. Oh, God. Morons. Too ugly, can't fap. Will not play. Either way, I just, like a month ago, was talking good about CD Projekt Red because they were like, look, we really effed up with Cyberpunk 2077. Which I feel like after a while they fixed, by the way, because the game is great now. I have a lot of fun playing it. I think it's a good game. But they made a lot of bad will by releasing a horribly broken game that they had to issue refunds for, and then it took them a while to fix it. And they were like, yeah, it sucks, and I don't know how we're going to be able to make up for it, but we're going to try. And it's on us, and they took total blame for it. I was like, good on them, man. But now, I don't know, they're pissing people off again. And they should know what's going on, especially with the Netflix controversy and everything with The Witcher. Now this. Weber, who, in addition to his current role, has also served as a studio quest designer on The Witcher 3, its two expansions, Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine, and Cyberpunk 2077, offered his thoughts on the current The Witcher-related discourse during a soon-to-be-published interview with VGC's Jordan Midler. Okay. In an excerpt from said interview provided to the public on December 18th on the topic of the Geralt-Ciri protagonist switch, Weber asserted, quote, I think we definitely knew it could be controversial for some people because, of course, in the previous three Witcher games, Geralt was the protagonist, and I think everyone really loved playing as Geralt. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's one of those, like, Ciri is Ciri. She can be a Witcher, and my phone thinks I'm talking to it. But she's not the Witcher. The Witcher is Geralt. He's the one all the books follow. He's the one all the games follow. He's supposed to be the main character of the Netflix show, even though he's, like, they make him part of an ensemble cast, which is just nuts. But he is the Witcher. It's not Ciri. Sorry. Sorry, phone, again, not talking to you. Either way. I really loved playing as Geralt, he continued. So I think we're aware that if some people think right now that they would still prefer to be Geralt, I think that's a legitimate concern. So if this is where their concern is coming from, that's valid. To this end, rather than berate upset fans for their preferences or attempt to shame them into getting on board, Weber took the rare move of admitting that the onus of both endearing Ciri to players and ensuring that her story made sense lay completely on CD Projekt Red. Yes, that is 100% correct. Quote, the best thing that we can do, and I think this is really our goal, is to prove that Ciri, we can do a lot of interesting things so we can really make it worth it, because this decision to have Ciri as a protagonist wasn't made yesterday. We started making this a very long time ago, said the narrative director. Ciri is already was already being set up as the second protagonist in the Andrzej Sapkowski novels, and as the second playable character in The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. So for us, it really was the natural evolution of what we've already been making for so long, he added. Also, for people who really love Geralt, it lets us honor the ending of Geralt, or that Geralt had in The Witcher 3 and in Blood and Wine, which saw him hanging up his sword and retiring to a peaceful life at his newly gifted Corvo Bianco vineyard, itself given to The Witcher by Duchess Anne Henrietta as prepayment for his killing of the beast of Beauclair, I guess. I don't know. Sorry, haven't got that far in the game yet. But yeah, I mean, it does seem like a natural evolution, and they also said they're like, dude, these are based on the books, but these aren't the books. This is our own original story. It has been from the beginning. These are not recreations of the books. The show, that's different. That was supposed to be based on the books, and that was supposed to be. It was also at least supposed to pretty much follow the lore. I feel like the games, at least, their original stories and an original progression of things, but it follows the lore and the characters pretty well. The show does not, and I like the show, but it's not. It doesn't follow the book lore very well. That's why people were talking about. Well, she can't pass the no woman has ever passed the trial of the grasses, or the trial of the grasses, and a theory is because, well, she has elder blood in her, so that will help her. That's probably going to be their out. Well, she has elder blood in her. It strengthens her. She's different. She's not just an average woman. So yeah, and that makes sense. And people are going to cry and whine about it. Whatever. I get it. I don't really see that much of a big deal with it. And it's not like she came out of nowhere and she's girl bossing it. She was trained by Geralt. She's been there from the beginning. This was kind of where it was heading. I need to get back in the books, damn it. But I have another article to get into after this regarding the books, but just that will piss you off more than this will. I feel like this article is like a make good, and I feel like it's like, okay, I don't hate it quite so bad. But offering one last admission that the responsibility for series reception lay solely with CD Projekt Red, Weber ultimately affirmed, quote, at the same time, of course, with Ciri being at the beginning of her journey as a Witcher, it also lets us tell new stories of what it means to become a Witcher. So, for those people who are worried right now, if that comes from a place of passion, I want to say I think the next time we show the game, our goal is to show and prove that Ciri can be a worthy protagonist for The Witcher 4. I agree. Wholeheartedly, you're starting anew. She's not, that's the difference between doing a story of Batman who's been in the game for 20 years and starting a new story with Robin or what's his name, Nightwing, who is just going out on his own and starting something new. New story, like similar stuff. He's not Batman, he's Nightwing, and he's trained under Batman, but he's younger. He's got his own stuff now. It's a completely different story you can tell than with Geralt. And you've had 3 games of Geralt. You have all these books of Geralt. And like I said, he is the Witcher. So I get it. I'm not putting down people who want Geralt. And I'm kind of one of them. But I feel like The Witcher 4 makes sense. All these people crying and acting like it's unprecedented, and it's just more girl bossing. Like I just said, she didn't come out of nowhere. She trained under him. She has elder blood. Now if she comes out right away as just better than Geralt at everything, okay, F off. But I feel like they're gonna make her a novice and just kind of build it up from there, and she needs help. Geralt occasionally needed help from Vesemir, from Yennefer, from Ciri, from Triss. So I don't know. Occasionally from Yasker or Dandelion, whatever you want to call him. I don't know. Did they call him Dandelion in the? I think they called him Dandelion in the games, right? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't remember. I remember when I first got into the books because I watched the Netflix show first, um, and then I got into the books a little bit, and I'm like, who the f is Dandelion? I'm like, I think that's Yasker's character, and then I found out that yeah, they don't want to call him Dandelion or whatever. They just went with his actual name. If you read the Polish books, his name is Yasker, but it translated to roughly to Dandelion, or it translated to something else, but they thought that Dandelion sounded better, even though it's like it sounds like a powder puff to me. I'm trying to be YouTube friendly with that word, but it makes him sound light in his loafers. I'll say to call him Dandelion. I like Yasker better. They should have just stuck with that. Either way, this one might piss you off, though. CD Projekt Red admits original author Andrei Sapkowski was not consulted on Ciri Witcher role in Witcher 4. Kind of a D move. CD Projekt Red has admitted it didn't consult the Witcher author, or series author Andrei Sapkowski regarding their decision to make Ciri a Witcher and turn her into a primary protagonist of The Witcher 4. I mean, at least talk to him. He doesn't have to be, like, super involved, but be like, hey, it seems like this is where you were going. Are we right? And how would you have done it? You know, just some ideas. I mean, the dude only invented the character out of whole cloth. In a recent interview with Eurogamer, The Witcher 4 game director Sebastian Kalemba and narrative director Philip Weber made it abundantly clear that the direction they're taking with Ciri's character is not only controversial, but also seemingly unsupported by Andrei Sapkowski, the original author of the Witcher saga. Yeah, this Ciri looks different, but I feel like the graphics are a lot different too. Like, I feel if they did Geralt with these same kind of graphics that they're using in this game, he would look different too. They just added a little bit more plumpness to her face, I guess. I don't know. I feel like she looks more realistic, but whatever. It's just me. When asked directly, about Sapkowski's involvement in The Witcher 4, Kalemba admitted that the man who created Geralt of Rivia and Ciri had no involvement in the project whatsoever. Actually, he's hands-off, Kalemba said, but, you know, he's not involved in the form of a consultant or whatever. We have a great relationship with him, so we meet with Andrei Sapkowski from time to time, discuss things. Despite this claim of a great relationship, the team's decision to fully transform Ciri into a Witcher stands at odds with established lore. Here's the debate that I was talking about. Like, here we go. The debate centers around whether Ciri can or should undergo the Trial of the Grasses, the brutal alchemical process that creates a Witcher. Traditionally, no woman has ever survived this trial, and the very notion that Ciri could casually achieve this feat flies in the face of the franchise's foundational logic. In the books, women do not become Witchers, not because they lack aptitude, but because the gruesome genetic alterations that define Witcherhood simply don't allow it. This is a long-standing point of canon that fans have come to accept and respect. Yet, Weber attempts to defend the choice by pointing to ambiguous textual moments. Quote, in the books, Andrei Sapkowski called Ciri a Witcher multiple times, and Geralt called Ciri a Witcher. He said, failing to reach the straws he was grasping at. Quote, so I think that basically says that Andrei Sapkowski thinks about the topic. The argument overlooks the contextual meaning behind those references. Being affectionately or symbolically called a Witcher is not the same as surviving the Trial of the Grasses and being physically transformed into one. The difference between a term of endearment or informal title and an actual lore-backed metamorphosis is massive and has always been crystal clear to anyone familiar with the series. from the neutral creative decisions, insisting that Siri can be a Witcher without Sapkowski's explicit endorsement, feels like developers are putting words in the author's mouth. Columba's admission that Sapkowski is hands-off in the development process means any supposed approval is purely inferred and likely misguided. In fact, Sapkowski has repeatedly spoken out against the games and Netflix series that adapt his work. Okay, well, first of all, I gave my opinion on she has elder blood. So, I mean, it's an injection that transforms you. If she has elder blood, that could be a way around it. And I think it is not super far-fetched to think that. On the other hand, not even consulting the author and just, like, talking it over is like, hey, what about this? I think it's stupid and a D move. And if you had a third hand here is that this is what you get when you sell your work. Andrei Sapkowski is like, dollar bills, y'all. And he sold the rights to his work, the CD Projekt Red and Netflix, and they did what they did. I think that's another thing Razor Fist was talking about. Like, he's such a contemptual person sometimes. I follow him because sometimes he has some decent takes. Man, he has I'm still failing to grasp the word. I can't think of it now, but he has these takes that it's just like, dude, you're just like being obstinate, and you always want to be that guy with the ridiculous take. But he said the Witcher games all suck and whatever. I'm like, give me a freaking break. Like, if you think the Witcher games suck, then like, it's an opinion. And I got into a stupid, goofy argument with some guy on Getter about this. And me and my friend Greg, before he passed away, we used to get into these arguments as well. Where I'm like, dude, his opinion is so wrong. And he's like, an opinion can't be wrong. That's what an opinion is. And I'm like, no. An opinion can be so bad, it's wrong. And this guy, and Greg got so mad at me about that. I'm like, dude, calm the F down. Like, it's my opinion that opinions are wrong is also an opinion. But that guy on Getter, I just kept going and going with him just to piss him off, and he was like fighting me about it. But seriously, if you think the Witcher games are bad, I just don't know what to tell you. Either you don't like, and he was like, they're not real RPGs because you're not actually role playing. Like, oh my god, yes, they all lead to, all of your decisions lead to different outcomes and different missions and whatever. So that's what makes it an RPG. If it's not as deep as you would like, whatever. But that's what she said. Either way, the games are objectively great games. I'll say that now. They are objectively great games. Let's get into something that is objectively a bad game. Dragon Age The Veilguard director points to hate campaign over game flaws to explain abysmal failure. The hate campaign meaning anybody who's played this abomination. Corinne Bush, director of Dragon Age The Veilguard, has recently attributed the game's disappointing performance to a purported hate campaign and review bombing orchestrated by discontented factions within the game's community. However, a closer examination, reveals that the failure of the Veilguard stems not from the external harassment, but the fundamental missteps in game design and a departure from what made Dragon Age beloved by fans. Bush's claims versus reality. In a series of statements made to former Kotaku writer Hayes Madsen, Bush claims that Dragon Age The Veilguard has been the target of a hate campaign, positioning it at the center of a cultural war on social media platforms. The director attributes negative comments and review bombing to the highly polarized times we live in, suggesting that these external pressures overshadow the game's intrinsic flaws. no, dude, your game just blows. I don't know what to tell you. Like, these people, yes, don't get me wrong. Like, don't get me wrong here. The YouTubers and frequent posters on X that crapped all over this abysmal game and made fun of it, me included, who has a microscopic audience compared to a lot of these. And then and all that. The like that does play a role, but not everybody lives online. All the gamers don't live online. Like, people just like saw the trailer, they heard about the game, and they saw gameplay footage and they're like, "Nah, player." Or they played it and it sucked and they returned it, or they just never touched it again. But they said, quote, "It's hard. I grew up in a time when it really felt like we're there to celebrate the games and to have these shared experiences, and that drive is still there," Bush opined in the highly flattering article Madsen scribed on Inverse. Quote, "I think the discourse we see is a result of highly polarized times, and perhaps it's a little naive. I know it's hard when you have to ask the question, is this game for me? Do I belong here? And the games are better for it when we say, yes, you do belong here." That's not what a game does, bro. You just play a game if it looks cool and interesting. You don't belong here. It's like that's what I talked about before. Games aren't supposed to conform to you. You conform to the game. If you don't like it, then the game's not for you, bro. Like, gosh, that's what, like, they come right out now and they'll say this game is inclusive, and they do this with movies too. This game is inclusive, and all these people of the rainbow are involved, and all you people that think like us, you're all welcome and involved. But if you don't think like us, this game or this film isn't for you. So if you think it's crap, then just don't play it or don't buy it. And then they don't, and they're like, why didn't anybody play it? Why didn't anybody buy it? Racism and sexism, that's why. And homophobia. While Bush emphasized inclusivity and diversity as pillars of modern game development, it's essential to scrutinize whether these elements were executed thoughtfully or simply imposed to cater to a specific ambiance. The game's abysmal review scores and dismal sales figures indicate that many players felt alienated rather than welcomed. Yeah, and it goes on talking about these posts are protected. Of course they are. Corinne Bush, who is a troon, I believe, made a game for troons, and only people of the rainbow communities played it, and not even they liked it. Look at this. Review scores and sales speak louder than words. Whether individuals liked or hated the Veilguard is a massive metric based on opinion. However, the objective reality we can point to surrounding Veilguard's release is the sales numbers and review scores it garnered. These tangible metrics of a game's success, review scores, and sales numbers tell a compelling story. Veilguard has a 3.9 out of 10 score on the review site Metacritic, and according to supposed insiders who spoke with YouTuber Smash JT, the game failed to move 1.5 million units against an initial 10 million unit goal. It's not gonna reach that. And here we go. Bush's deflection, a curtain of bigotry. Total woman right there. Yeah. By attributing the game's shortcomings to a hate campaign, Bush may be deflecting responsibility from the actual flaws of the Veilguard, which ultimately rest on the shoulders of the individual in charge. In Veilguard's case, the Dragon Age The Veilguard director, Corinne Bush, the narrative can be perceived as an attempt to mask failure with accusations of bigotry, shifting the focus away from constructive criticism. That's what they always do. That's what these people always do. Bush, an individual who identifies as a gender that differs from their anatomy, seems to be playing the bigotry card a little too loudly to cover up one inescapable truth. You think? The Dragon Age The Veilguard failed miserably. Yup. It could mark the end of the entire franchise. Yeah, there you go. And it goes on and on and on. But basically, BioWare itself is a failing company. The next Mass Effect game is probably going to be a mass failure. This game blew. Everybody hated it, including people that were supposed to think like them. I saw a couple people popping up in my comments, "Oh my god, it's so, like, it's good. I don't know why you keep talking crap about it," even though, like, the story was objectively looked like straight trash. Like, give me a freaking break here. But regardless, sorry, got lost track. It looked like trash. Everybody who played it, or most people that played it, said it sucked. They didn't move a lot of units, and they're blaming bigotry and my YouTubers and whatever. Same stuff all the time. I'm sorry, we all saw the footage. We all saw gameplay and cutscenes and whatever. It looked like trash. Everybody's ugly. Everybody is like obsessed with being a they them or whatever the hell. It's stupid, and people are fed up with it. So I mean, I don't know, cry about it. Like, the game failed. BioWare itself is failing, and it's Mass Effect 5 will not do well, and it's going to tank the company. That's all I got to say. And it couldn't happen to a better company that only cares about political agendas rather than whether or not their game is good. They think the political agenda makes the game good. No, it makes people not give a damn. Let's get into this. A couple stories to close out here. It won't take too long because I got stuff to do, you know. Jollywood Nights falls flat. Walt Disney World Christmas event struggled to sell out in 2024. I will admit that looks pretty cool. Very Christmassy. So Disney's Jollywood Nights, hard-ticketed nighttime Christmas event at Disney's Hollywood Studios in Walt Disney World, only managed to sell out 4 of its 13 nights in 2024, a decline from its 2023 numbers. Stupid business models they have, I gotta tell you. In 2024, Disney Jollywood Nights at Disney's Hollywood Studios struggled to recapture the moment of its inaugural season. The event launched in 2023 as a more sophisticated, adult-oriented alternative to family-focused holiday offerings, was initially pitched as a chic late-night soiree catering to Disney adults. Oh, well then. This is one of the only events in all of Walt Disney World where tickets for kids and adults are priced exactly the same. There's no benefit for families whatsoever. Not sure that's smart. The first years, I mean, I can see the appeal of it, but I mean, it's Disney World. I mean, come on, you're taking your family. 9 times out of 10, it's a family. The first year's rollout was marred by confusion and poorly communicated experiences that left many guests underwhelmed. Attendees reported arriving unsure of what attractions were included, where to find exclusive character meet and greets, and how to navigate a scattered lineup of shows and entertainment. Signage and event maps proved insufficient, and cast members, seemingly lacking clear, consistent directives, struggled to guide guests effectively. Wow. You know, for a multi-billion-dollar company, you'd think that they would get their crap together for, you know, a couple of nights here. Its rocky debut in 2023 led to a lingering skepticism that apparently carried into the following year. That looks pretty sweet. Is that the Hollywood Tower of Terror? Yeah, okay. The Tower of Terror at Christmas time and Jollywood Nights. Yep, right there. In 2024, despite operational tweaks and efforts to refine the event's identity, Jollywood Nights sold out on only 4 of its 13 evenings, November 9th, December 7th, December 14th, and December 21st. By comparison, the previous year had reached sold-out status on 6 nights. Although Disney has not released specifics on capacity changes or ticket limits, this drop from 6 to 4 sold-out dates suggest waning interest The memory of the 2023 confusion, underwhelming entertainment offerings, and an overall lack of polish likely influenced guests' willingness to give Jollywood Nights a try. It seems like somebody had an idea that they didn't know how to deliver on. And when I'm not going to make excuses here, because when they talk about well, it's it's the first time, it's it's going to be a little rocky, whatever. Not for Disney. They're a multi-billion-dollar company, like I said, with a bazillion people working for them that are supposed to hammer this stuff out, and you can't figure out what the F is going on for a big Christmas event that you're doing. It's a huge launch, and you charge a bazillion dollars for tickets. What is going on with this company? They're just tore up from the floor up at this point. Nothing operates like it's supposed to. It's nuts. Anyway, finishing this, I want to cover one more area of this here. Meanwhile, the consistency and clarity of Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party at the Magic Kingdom stood in stark contrast and told a far different story about where Disney should be directing its time, efforts, and money. Go figure. This beloved family-centric event maintained a perfect track record, selling out all 25 offering nights in 2024. Parents and families gravitate to the familiarity of character meet and greets, festive parades, fireworks, and timeless holiday charm, all executed with Disney's signature reliability. Tickets for children also cost less I think they mean less than $10 than adult tickets for the event. Yeah, so they want to cater to Disney adults, which they're out there, sure. They show up, sure, but they got better things to do. Most adults are not going to be like, oh my god, an adult-themed Disney celebration that you got to pay a bunch of money for? Oh my god, we got to do that. Especially when it looks unpolished and unvarnished. It looked haphazard. It's slapped together. They have better things to spend their time and money on, even if they're a Disney adult. It doesn't look fun and cool, and you could just go mix with the families and the kids and whatever. That's the whole point of Disney. If you're going to Disney World complaining about, my god, there are a lot of kids here, you're the problem, and you're mental. That's not a problem. You're the problem. Maybe you should get out. There's too many adults here without kids. And I'm saying that as an adult who went without kids. I never once complained, my god, there's so many families with children here. And no, I would not be going to an adults-only soiree at Disney. Sounds so lame. And apparently a lot of people thought so, because not only was it slapped together and sucked, nobody liked it, just nobody's willing to pay that kind of money for it. Last quick story, I don't have much to say about this. It's the goofiest thing you will see today. DC to celebrate April Fool's Day 2025 with Harley Quinn's Fartacular. Silent but deadly one-shot. Yes, seriously. Pull my finger. See that? Yeah. This is happening. In a move so baffling that it's genuinely hard to believe it's even real, DC has announced that they will be celebrating the upcoming 2025 edition of April Fool's Day by publishing the Harley Quinn Fartacular Silent but Deadly, an aptly named one-shot whose contents will center entirely, you guessed it, on the topic of flatulence. Look at this. Just what? What are we doing here? So news of the one-shot's production first bubbled to the surface thanks to DC's December 20th reveal of their March 2025 solicits. Gosh. Therein, tucked far between such potentially promising teases as those given for Absolute Flash Volume 1, Number 1, which will introduce the world to the universe's incarnation of the Scarlet Speedster, and Justice League Volume 1, Number 5. Its story apparently set to see the titular team up with the full might of the Legion of Doom was a surprising listing for the Fartacular. Yeah, he looks cool. DC's always been pretty good with comics, but recently they've been, I would say recently, like the last 10 years, they've been doing some stupid stuff. Set to be penned by Fire and Ice, Welcome to Smallville Volume 1 writer Joanne Starer, and illustrated by blah, 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 don't care. The one-shot will, honestly, there's no way to summarize its solicit in a way that's both succinct and makes sense, so let's just let it speak for itself. Oh, God. Here we go. I've been holding in all my very worst bits of bubble guts for the last 32 years, and it's all been leading up to this epic expulsion, exclaims the book's description. Your nose will never be the same. You'll gag, you'll cry, you'll feel things you ain't never felt before. I'm not reading this in the Harley Quinn voice, by the way. I'm just not going to do it. This fine publication is a celebration of all things past, present, and future. Okay. Subsequent subsequential art's place in the annals of history is about to change with the release of the Harley Quinn Fartacular Silent But Deadly, a comic that promises to have the highest concentration of gas per page, GPP, ever committed to print. Emphasis on committed, because everyone who worked on this comic is getting thrown into Dr. Fartley's home for no good gassy gals and guys. My God. Read the comic that Abraham Lincoln called a joy from fart to finish moments before he died. Okay. Warning. It concludes, we aren't kidding. If you're grossed out by farts, then this comic isn't for you, and that's perfectly okay, though I am judging you. Unless you want to put your feelings to the test, in which case this comic is for you. What the hell am I looking at? And they go on talking about it. Here's some more pictures. Wow. Okay. This, let's see. To that end, for those who wish to get a whiff of the Harley Quinn Fartacular Silent But Deadly for whatever reason, you do you, dear reader. The one-shot is currently looking at a release date of March 26, 2025. Look, I know it's an immature April Fool's Day joke, whatever. But my God. Why? Why is this happening? What is going on here? I am like blown away. No pun intended. Hey, DC, maybe put out some comics that, people give a crap about, and then you can work on your fart prawn. This is clearly like it's either like incredibly immature, nasty people, and I can laugh at a fart joke as much as the next guy, but wow. Or this is a fetish. Either way, you're gross and you need help. And yes, I am kink shaming you. Anyway, that is it. That's all I got for you. Leaving you with farts. Hope you all enjoyed the show. If you could, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's right there. YouTube.com/Marks on Media. Or rumble.com/C/Marks on Media. If you go to rumble.com/C/Main Event Marks, I'm going to start slowly moving over the shows that aren't on there, the full video shows. I just got to add video to them and all that kind of stuff and get them over. And that'll be fun. That'll be cool to see. Cool to relive and listen to. I'll get a new audience over on Rumble for that. Um, and it'll help Greg's memory live on and all that stuff. So, doing that here soon. I got episode 1 over already, so go check that out. And for the rest of you, also, let's see, right there, follow me on X and Instagram at marks_on_media. And Facebook, Marks on Media Tube. I go live on there when I go live everywhere else. And also, I am on Blue Sky, Getter, Gab Social, and True Social. All over the place. Check me out. Follow me. And it has been a good time. I enjoyed talking to you all, hanging out with you all, streaming. Hope you have a Merry, Merry Christmas. I might stream next week. We'll see how it goes. I'll keep everybody informed. But Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year.